How do you guys feel about the Cavs right now?
Y'all want me to go first?
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Well, first,
because I think we're gonna be on the same page about this.
First of all, I actually like the state that the Cavs are in.
Right.
And it has more so to do with the young talent that they have now.
Right.
And my way to build a team is you build it through the draft. The NBA is probably the best way to build a team is through the draft.
I disagree.
Well, you have to build through the draft first, and then you only need 1 or 2 free agents.
Okay. Go ahead, man.
But the easiest way to the promised land, I would say, is through the draft.
Right.
You get as many picks as you can, and you try and hit a couple home runs.
Right.
And
I mean, in the case of Chicago Bulls, that's pretty much what they did.
Oklahoma City Thunder.
Exactly.
2 prime examples.
I mean, you look at them.
The Cavs are notorious for drafting
For blowing.
poorly.
Yeah, for blowing.
Drafting poorly. Do
Right.
I have to say any names? Trajan like that?
Oh,
Yeah, don't even get me started.
Luke Jackson.
Yeah. Sagana Job.
Just go.
man.
The list goes on and on.
Ooh, that's a low.
They also have some hits, though.
I mean, they did have some hits. I mean, they did. Well, of course, LeBron.
Ding, 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 ding.
Well, I mean,
Boozer?
that was kind of. Yeah, Boozer was.
Second round.
That was a second round pick,
that was
too,
bittersweet,
man.
though, because of the way it played out. But,
Yeah, both of those two.
But
that wasn't Boozer's fault, though.
That was
Perry's fault.
them not making the move.
You don't never
that
let
they
a
did.
man when you can control that he stays here. You don't never say go walk.
Right.
Take a handshake.
Right.
In sports, that's a business. Ain't no handshakes, man.
Right. But they were taking his word. So, but that's a whole nother story.
You give me your word, but somebody throw a $60 million in your face. Your word going over there.
You're right. Yeah.
But that's just thing, and I think they're starting off pretty good with Kyrie. They got a core group right now with Kyrie, Tristan Thomas, Alonzo Gee, and
yeah.
You gotta be good.
Yeah.
Alonzo G,
Right.
which they need to resign. He's unrestricted after this year.
Right.
So they better lock him up.
Right.
Because the better he plays now, the
Right.
more teams gonna be looking at him
Right.
and throwing money at him. We need to go ahead and lock him up now.
might be a diamond in the rough.
I agree.
Not an all-star, not a superstar, but a key role player.
Right.
Trevor Ariza. Close to that.
I can see that.
Right.
Who else could I say? Terrence Williams from Houston.
Right.
What's the guy's name in New Jersey? Number 1. Play the wing.
What is it? The rookie?
No, he just like his 34. It's something Williams too.
Yeah.
Sean Williams.
Sean
Williams.
Williams. That kind of player. You know,
Right.
give you 10 to 12 points. He's gonna hustle.
Right.
He can dunk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think what the Cavs are missing now, and they really need to hit now, they need to get a small forward.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shooting guard.
Right.
And they definitely need big man. If I see Ryan Hollins one more time,
Ryan
one more time.
And
Ryan
Samardo
Hollins
Samuels.
is the worst player in the league.
Samardo Samuels. Look like he just got off the short bus.
I'm better than all.
I mean, I understand that. I understand that, but you also giving them about 6 to 8 inches to those dudes too.
But listen, I'll play with Smart.
Come on, Ryan Hollins, man. Are you
Ryan
serious?
Hollins is a bum, dude. I'm sorry. I said that when he dunked on Verjao, and he was like he got all amped about it in one game when he was playing for Dallas.
He also 7 foot got hung by the rim.
Exactly.
And then
exactly. That's what I'm saying. Man.
So you guys think that they should lose, tank, or should they press
it's
forward?
Look, I'm not saying don't go out and give it a fighting try. I mean, as a Cavs fan, I want to see them winning, and that's basically the bottom line. But at the same time, I'm like, we don't necessarily need to make playoffs right now. We don't. We're in a good spot.
We don't need to make the playoffs at all.
I'm like, we don't need to make it right now because the thing is, we going in first round, we either getting the Bulls or the Heat, and we gonna get stumped right out of the playoffs anyway.
So playoff experience doesn't mean anything?
Not right now. Not right now. Not with the young team that we got. Let them build on the season that they've had so far this year.
And I agree with both of y'all saying, but my thing is, don't root for your team to lose.
Don't root for them. Now that's the thing, and that's my thing. That's why I said I want to see them win. I want to see them win. That's my thing. I want to see them win. If we make the playoffs, good. I'm happy.
Right.
But I don't necessarily feel like we necessarily need to make the playoffs.
Well, see, here's the thing, though, and you got to think about it this way: the Cavs weren't going to make the playoffs, and they're not going to make the playoffs. So anyway, you got to eventually. They got up to a nice start.
Right.
Eventually, the schedule will play itself out.
My take on the whole: should you tank your thing? Should they make the playoffs thing? Is Because I feel like obviously I'm a realist. I want the Cavs to get the high draft, so I want them to lose games. But I don't feel like they should do things to intentionally lose games. I feel like they should, like, instead of like having priorities like, you know, let's win games, make the playoffs. They should do different things like, you know, hey, like, we know we probably have a better chance to make the playoffs if we let this guy get more minutes, but instead let's develop some more talent and then subsequently lose more games. Like, I think like that's the way to handle it. But I mean, cause I'm
gonna have to change the look. Look,
up your nose to say face.
Look, I'm gonna be honest with you on this one, man. I want to see our young talent out there playing, and I want to see.
Well, they
but
are.
See, the thing is, and that's the great part. And I'm saying we're not holding them back. That's the great part about it. And like you said, the schedule's gonna play itself out. I'm like, if we build through the draft, that's great. But the thing is, people are gonna see Kyrie, and they're gonna say, hey, that's a solid point guard that's over there, man. And he's going to be able to lead that team. Then they're going to say, okay, well, then they got, Tristan Thompson over there who's, going to develop into a solid four for in the league. You're going to look at, a couple other pieces, Alonzo G, and you're like, okay, well, maybe we can make something work here with the Cavs. You know what I'm saying? So maybe with that, we can probably draw in somebody, a free agent who's maybe not a top tier, maybe not a Dwayne Wade or something like that. But if we can get somebody who's kind of mid-level, who can put the ball in the basket, maybe we can draw some talent in that way. Maybe we can. I mean, because that's basically the way that I'm looking at it.
We really need.
I agree. And that's my thing is like if you get a team where because if you look at the Chicago Bulls, they just couldn't. The thing is when they started making the playoffs, they started giving teams problems. And that was when they had Derrick Rose, they had Joakim Noah, and it was like they was just a young team who was scrappy, who had been playing together. They developed, and they had developed, and they gave Boston hell.
They went to 7 games with them.
And they went to 7 games with them. So then somebody like Carlos Boozer, who's out in Utah, looking at this like, okay, well, you add me to this roster, and we gonna put in work. So now you look at them, and they are number 1, number 2 seed every year now. So that's what I'm saying. That's what we have with right now. We got those building blocks. So we don't necessarily need to win go into the playoffs right now. It would be great, and especially if we can go in and give a number 1 seed a problem. I would love to see that because we need that right now as far as Cleveland sports fans, and for some morale. But at the same time, it's not something that needs to happen right away because it didn't happen right away with the Bulls.
Absolutely.
Give them a year. Give them 2 years. Because they'll be in the playoffs. I've got a feeling they'll be in the playoffs next year. They'll be an 8 seed next year.
Think about this, though. Do you agree or do you disagree? This is one of the deepest drafts to date.
Yes.
This is one of the deepest drafts to date.
Yes.
And what the Cavs are trying to do and what they, made attempts to do is stockpile the picks.
Right.
We've got, about 13 picks in the next 5 years.
Right.
And it's like, okay, you can either use this as bait,
right,
or you can settle down, take the L's, take your bumps and your lumps. I'm not saying and still losing in your players by any means,
right.
But you have to look at it from we got to be bad so we can be good later. You got to think about the future.
Right.
We got so many picks. There's so many guys coming up in this draft. The draft after this is going to be mildly deep.
Right.
It's like you got to concentrate on what's important.
Right.
The Cavs got a good foundation right now.
Yep.
With Kyrie Irving, he had a great showing in the rookie sophomore game, or whatever they did with him this year, hitting all the 3 balls consecutively, didn't miss one. It opened up everybody's eyes. They're like, okay, wait a minute. We didn't think that this guy should have been, the guy. Me myself, I'm like,
that's a lot of people.
We shouldn't draft Kyrie. Derek Williams had a big showing in the NCAA tournament last year.
I felt like Kyrie.
He's the guy. We need a small forward. We need to replace him.
A lot of people didn't want Kyrie because from the college he went to. And only because he played 11 games.
Yeah, he didn't play any games.
But at the end of the day, though, the guy was a playmaker when he played.
But the thing was,
he made that team better.
The only reason that he even ended up at Duke is because of the rules as far as players going to the league. He ended up going straight to the NBA. Same with Brandon Jennings. That's the only reason that he ended up there. He would have been straight out of high school because the kid was good coming out regardless.
Absolutely.
So I wasn't really concerned about that part of it. I just felt like, if we had the chance to build, I didn't necessarily see Tristan being what he has been for us.
Right. But
and that's me being, me. I'll admit it. I was like, okay. I'm like, he's got some upside, But I was like, but some of the things that's a downsides for him, I wasn't really, too
When you
sold.
look at the draft, though, you
nobody-
got to think about who else was in the draft and who else you would have taken with that pick. And I'm perfectly fine with it. Looking at it that way.
Yeah, and I was like, in the way that I was looking at it, I actually thought that we should have. I was thinking, hey, if we could trade down to maybe like the third, fourth pick, I was thinking take Brandon Knight.
Yeah, that never happened in the NBA.
Yeah, but
you never trade picks in the NBA unless you're swapping just players. You know what I mean? That's how you get the picks there.
And that was the thing, but I was hoping for that, because I'm like, hey, we can get down a couple. We still got that fourth pick.
Plus, it's only 2 rounds, so that
and that
you don't want to go too far where you are.
Yeah, but I was hoping we could just go down a couple picks, not necessarily. Oh, we're gonna trade for trying to stockpile picks. No, I'm just thinking, swap picks with somebody. Maybe pick up. Maybe I wanted because honestly, I wanted Brandon Knight. And that's all, and and I don't feel like he's necessarily doing a bad job in the trade. Hell, nobody actually gets to see him. But I was thinking Brandon Knight and Enes Kanter because both of them are actually balling. But the thing is, we never get to see him.
Right.
So.
Well, you got to think about our team not even on national TV.
Right. Because the only reason we know is because we get to see the Cavs on a night in, night out basis. So.
Agreed.
Right. So.
I don't think anybody foresaw what Kyrie would do.
I did. I did.
What level?
Of course.
He's already hit 2 game winners already. Nobody saw that.
Hey, listen. I did because
you count the free throws too, because that's 3. He's got 3. He's 3 for 5 in clutch situations.
You saw he missed one, and it made him react. He hasn't missed one since.
Right.
He showed up and he showed out.
This dude is a playmaker, man.
He is.
He can play the game of basketball.
Love that. I love that about him.
And he's making this team better.
Yeah, he's just
look at the record, man. Nobody even thought we'd win this many games.
Right.
He's making Jamison look like he's 20 again.
Right.
Jamison out there scoring out of his mind.
Hey, I'll have to be honest with you, dude. I went to the Cavs game and I actually watched Jamison put up 40 in the game, and I'm like, dude, are you serious?
And why is he?
No, 30. He put up 30 in the game. And I'm like,
Kyrie's taking the game and controlling the game to where he can get open shots.
Right.
To where he's putting them in places to where he can make easy shots.
Right.
And the same thing for Tristan Thompson.
Yeah.
He's putting them in position to make great shots.
Right.
And
how you feel? And that's the way to do it.
I understand. My fear with the whole thing is that the Cavs have enjoyed moderate success to this point this year. Nobody saw this coming. The couple of ones they got. I just don't want people's expectations to get to that point now. Now people are talking about like, well, next year we should be in the playoffs. 2 years, blah, blah, blah. No, like the Cavs are really, really far off